this obviously is the epiphany, and this is
Right.
the starting point of where everything started. And I kind of wanted to touch upon one thing because, uh, you know, in this on this podcast we speak about a lot about deen, and you, Meraj, you and I speak a lot about deen as well, and how deen. It's funny how we're all on this journey, but yet we're on different journeys at the same time. Like we're on the same journey, but we're on different parts of the same journey. And you speak a lot about your father and how your father was strict. And I also have the same similar upbringings, whether you're in Pakistan or you're in Qatar or you're in Canada. We say it's strict, but is it really strict? So you spoke about putting faith. Now you put faith in the power of your business. But before that, you found it as a source, a source of peace in shaping your future. Okay, back then you didn't know this, but now you know. You know what I'm saying? And let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about how faith in the beginning you're kind of rebellious, but I also had a similar kind of thing. And I know Hamza had a similar thing, not in terms of like as a Muslim, but in terms of searching for the truth. And then once he found the truth, he is where he is right now. And for us, we were rebellious, uh, probably by the way the religion was taught to us, but we were not rebellious to the religion. We were more so rebellious to our fathers, and that's kind of turned us off from the religion. But then now that we're older and we're more wiser and we have better ways to understand it, it has shaped our futures. So let's talk about how religion, how it first came to you, how you went through your journey, and then basically how where you are right now. Okay.
Correct. Okay. So, um, if you had approached me about a year ago, I wouldn't have answered to these questions, but I figured that there is a deeper understanding to these things, okay? First off, before my entrepreneurship, I worked with the government corporation for about a year, okay? And before that, I sort of was not very close to Islam at all. Like prayer, that was not a thing on my mind at all. This was going on. This is because I was kind of uh, how do you call it? Like I was taken away. I was taken away with that liberal side of the society. This is when things were happening in Doha, and I was like thinking to myself just before I joined the government work, the government corporation. See, working for government corporation does have a benefit. It pays you on time. That's one. Second, you don't have to do anything, so you have a lot of time for yourself. So you reflect on your religion and yourself, right? But at the same time, when I before joining, I was thinking that where has the religion gone? I don't see people that are praying anymore. And when I joined the government corporation, I started seeing more. And then I realized it's not it's not it's not going away. It's where you are. So if you're in nightclubs, of course you're not going to see religious people. But if you're in the masjid, you're not going to see non-Muslims or not non-religious people. And then the first issue for me is the first fitna, right? The Shia and the Sunni. I said, the Shia and the Sunni, why are they fighting? Aren't they Muslims? So I started digging deep. I dig so deep that this was the first time I actually started liking. I started liking to write. So I started making notes. I was listening to every other, understanding what is the issue because I really wanted to get to the bottom of it. And I did, to the point the Shias could not debate with me because I was like, here are the facts, and those are the facts they know about. But when you sort of support an ideology, then then opposing is not an option, regardless of the wrong facts. And that's where I started understanding more about religion. Then entrepreneurship does take you away from religion in the beginning, I would have to say. Because in the beginning, you see, a true entrepreneur does not care about money at first. To the point, then he doesn't care about anything, then the money. And that is when the person becomes religious. Okay? Because the success or is in the beginning, when you're not worried about money, you don't really pray because what you really want is to get stuff done. But when it's about money, money usually comes from God, okay? And you start asking for money because you don't ask for success. Now, whoever tells you I don't care about money is wrong because indirectly he does. He wouldn't be going ahead if there was no reward in it. A reward could be anything. We call it money. Let's just call it money, but it could be anything. Okay. Um, COVID is really a turning point in my life. Okay, that's when I started seeing that maybe I'm useless because when you are part of a system, it's different how you operate when you're part of a system, as opposed to when you create a system and run it. And that's COVID. Before COVID, I was part of a system. When the system shut down, I'm not an autonomous body, so I'm going to shut down as well. That is really a turning point. And be very honest, I'm a late bloomer to everything. So I was a late bloomer there as well. It took me time to get back on my feet. And this was the first time I actually read something about psychology. So I started doing courses on psychology. That's where I started investing a lot in myself. I started educating myself more and more on psychology. And then I started reading about philosophy. And that's where I started to understand religion so much better because everything in religion is related to philosophy. There is a philosophy behind every single thing in the religion. And I mean, so many thoughts now. I'm actually, consumed by my own
Yeah.
thoughts talking about
Yeah,
it.
no, I see it in your head, like you're thinking right now, like, oh, there's so many avenues I want to go down. You know what I mean? So like, I have a question about your self discovery, right? Because you mentioned something key as a late bloomer. Okay,
Correct.
what are the benefits?